Hey guys, welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we are over in Evergreen Harbor and I am building in one of the apartment complexes. You can see the specific name of this apartment up in the top left-hand corner, and I believe it is the Stone Street Apartments, and this is unit number 4. I really love the apartment complexes in Evergreen Harbor. I love how small and pretty suburban-ish they are, and I really love San Myshuno too, don't get me wrong, but if I were to play in an apartment complex for my personal gameplay, I would prefer these just because this is what I'm used to in real life, is like the smaller suburban-ish apartment complexes, not a skyrise. I've never actually been in a skyrise slash high-rise, I guess it's more of a high-rise. I've never been in a high-rise apartment like San Myshuno. We do have them in Tampa and I think Miami as well. I've never been to Miami, but I mean, we've all seen pictures of Miami, so we know what it looks like. But yeah, Tampa does have high-rise buildings, believe it or not. I have never been in an apartment high-rise though, so they are really fun to play in, don't get me wrong. Like, I have played in them and I do enjoy playing in them, but ever since Eco Lifestyle came out, I have been loving these apartments. I don't build here often at all. I think I have built here once before on my channel, but when Eco Lifestyle first came out, I played in these apartments all the time. It was also like a breath of fresh air when Eco Lifestyle came out because this is the first pack since City Living that we actually received playable apartments. And so I remember that being like a huge deal when Eco Lifestyle came out. But yeah, I like these and I like the other ones in the other neighborhood, which I can't remember the name of, but there's only 2 apartment complexes in Evergreen Harbor, so I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But if I had to choose between the 2, I would prefer these just because I hate the fact that you cannot furnish the balcony in the other apartment complex. Like, that turns the whole complex off to me, and I don't know why, but it does. It's just so bare out there and it throws me off. I know there's one with the balcony and one doesn't have the balcony, but I don't know, it still throws me off. Plus, I really love the shape of these. I feel like they're big enough to fit multiple bedrooms, and it's like a perfect rectangle or square, so you can really customize it however you want to. For this apartment, I ended up fitting 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom plus a laundry room. We have a kitchen slash dining room right here, and then we have the living room directly in the front door when you walk in. I furnished this apartment for a grandmother raising her twin granddaughters. They are children, and I furnished them to have like total opposite interests. So one is more of like a goth aesthetic sim, and the other one is like a very girly, preppy aesthetic. I really love the dynamic between having twins that are totally different. They remind me of the Pleasant twins from The Sims 2. The Sims 4, we got them in Discovery University, but they were young adults at that point, and in The Sims 2 they were teens. I just love the OG Sims 2 version better, I guess just because that was the original version, but I felt like they had more personality back then. Anyways, I do love the dynamic of how they're total opposites, and that's kind of what inspired this build today. But I was going to do a single dad raising the 2 twins until I started decorating the kitchen here, and it was getting way too cutesy, in my opinion, for a single dad. Like, a single dad I feel like has a certain aesthetic and it's not super cutesy like this. So I switched it to a grandmother raising her twin granddaughters, and I thought that was a super cute dynamic too, and something I haven't done before. And so I said, you know what, it's perfect, because look at that fridge right there, look at how cute it is. That just looks like something a grandma would do, and definitely not a single dad. And that is why I'm replacing all of the blinds with these curtains instead. I really wanted to do these curtains to begin with, but like I said, I was going to do a single dad at first. The blinds just made more sense for a dad. I feel like curtains are one of those things men don't really think of or care about. But yeah, once I decided to switch from a single dad to a grandmother, I decided to put these curtains instead. These curtains remind me of such a grandma aesthetic, which I love. I think that is such a cute aesthetic. Actually, I think my house in real life is starting to look like a grandma's house. But honestly, I'm not mad about it. I do admit that grandmas, especially my grandma, they know how to decorate. They make their houses look so cute. But as far as this kitchen goes, I have a fridge, stove, sink, and a microwave, which I do swap out that microwave for a cute yellow one. It's one of the ones from the Restoration Workshop kit, which are so cute and it fits grandma's kitchen perfectly. That is pretty much it as far as the functional items. You probably noticed I did have the cereal boxes from the kitchen clutter kit, but I ended up removing those. For one, I think I've done it in every single kitchen for the past like 2 months, and it was time to not use it in this build. It also wasn't a thing I felt like grandma would have in her kitchen, just like open cereal boxes out on the counter. And so instead, I decided to make that little area like a cooking station instead. Obviously, your Sims will not actually cook here because there's no room, but I tried to give the look of your Sim actively cooking, especially grandma. It looks like she's making some chocolate chip cookies for her granddaughters before they arrive home from school. I think that's such a cute thought. And she has her little family recipe book open. That is the one from Businesses and Hobbies, and that is the actual functional recipe book where you can put custom recipes in there. It obviously doesn't make the actual dish look different, but the recipe itself can be different. Like, for example, if you make grandma bake some chocolate muffins, you can add cherries to it and then it's like a cherry chocolate muffin. That's just one example of what you can do, but I just think it's such a cute detail to have that family recipe cookbook, and then she can give it to one of her granddaughters once they're old enough. I'm not sure which one. I will leave that up to you guys to decide. I guess whichever one develops the love for cooking is the one to get it. But yeah, that counter itself, obviously you cannot actually cook there. And when I play tested this, I originally thought your Sims would be able to use this curved island to cook, but I was incorrect. Apparently your Sims cannot cook at curved islands, which I thought was interesting for some reason. I guess because it doesn't have a sharp edge, and that's usually where they cook on the islands. So instead, I ended up having to move that dish rack over a little bit and then remove the grocery bag, and your Sims will be able to cook right there at that counter on the right side of the sink. I don't love that because I really wanted the grocery bag to be there, but unfortunately I had to remove it so that your Sims could actually cook in the kitchen. But yeah, other than that, everything else was functional in the kitchen. And before we move on to the living room, I just want to point out one more thing. I thought it was so cute to put the lunchboxes on the kitchen island with both of the girls' personalities, one being the goth aesthetic and then the other one being the more girly, preppy sort of aesthetic. I thought that was such a cute little touch to display some of the Sims' personalities in this apartment. And we are now over into the living room. I am using these couches from the Reader's Nook Maker's Kit that you can get on the marketplace. Obviously, I know a lot of people don't get the maker's kits, which is totally fine. I can't help but use these couches because they're just so cute, and there's actually like a matching set, a whole matching set in there. So if you don't have the maker's kit, then these will just be replaced with something that you do have, or you'll be missing the couches, but that would be so easy just to place your own. And then you can kind of customize it yourself, you know, but I just couldn't help myself because it fits the grandma look so good. Like, it's perfect for grandma's living room. I absolutely love the color of these couches and the pillows on top of them, and it matches this rug really, really well. But I do end up removing that one because it just didn't look so good with these curtains that I ended up using, which the curtains are a whole nother problem. These windows, with how low they are to the ground, like, I do love the placement of the windows, but I found it hard to fit curtains on them. And the only curtains I could find to look good in the living room were the same ones I used in the dining room and the kitchen. So it's a little samey, but at the same time, It does look good because it's kind of an open floor plan, and if it looks too different, then it just doesn't look like it matches, you know? So I do think it works in this case. And then I paired it with this Dream Home Decorator rug, which I never use this rug, mainly because I forget about it. And so I seen it in the catalog during this build, and I was like, that is literally perfect. It matches those curtains so good. And so I ended up using those. So it's kind of like a blue yellow theme here in the living room, kind of the kitchen too, but the kitchen's a little bit more colorful. So here in the living room, something I did was add this wicker basket from Jungle Adventure onto the coffee table, and it gives that sort of look in real life how people will have wicker baskets on the coffee table and they put a candle and a plant, maybe some books on the inside of it or some other decoration. That's the vibe I was trying to give here, and I think I did a good job. I think it looks so cute and very simple, but decorative enough. You know, it's not too much to make it look too messy. I do really think it's cute. I'm looking forward to doing that in some of my other builds. And then we have a hall table underneath the TV. I struggled with what to put underneath the TV on that hall table. Ultimately, I decided to leave it blank. I didn't put anything there just because nothing looked right. I thought it looked better blank than to have something there that just didn't make sense. Then we have some family photos next to it. On the other side of the TV, we have a lamp and one of those little wicker baskets with some blankets and pillows from Cottage Living. And then we have like a bookcase, and just tried to make it look really homey in there and like grandma decorated it, you know? Oh, and on the end table next to the sofa, I decided to put a lamp and one of those digital photo frames. I've been doing that a lot lately on my end tables in the living rooms. And then I also put like a little tissue box and a remote. I love doing a little realistic touches like that in my builds. It just makes it feel so much more homey and like someone actually lives in the house, you know? And the final touch I added in the living room, when you first walk in the front door, you have the couch on one side, and on the other side, there was like a blank wall. I ended up putting a little short hall table there with some pieces of mail in like a box. It's a little clutter piece from one of the kits. And then also a little purse I figured was grandma's purse, a set of keys, and sunglasses, and above that I put a mirror. I thought that was such a cute, realistic touch as well. And I just wanted to mention though that I did play test it, and you are able to still walk inside of the apartment even with that hall table there. So that was so nice. I was unsure if it was going to be functional or not. Like, you kind of need to get inside of the apartment. That's the most important thing. I was super surprised to find out that it did in fact work and your Sims were able to walk past it. So that was super nice. But we are now working on the bathroom, and I chose this shower tub combo from Parenthood, and that specific swatch, does it not scream grandma to you? Like, it totally does, but I love it. I think that is so cute about it. I actually really love that tub. It's one of my favorites in the game. I just wish that it had more swatches, and I wish it had more swatches with a white tub and the shower curtain itself actually changed. That would have been perfect, because most of the time in houses your tub is white, you know? I think it was trying to give the look of old school tubs, some of the old school tubs in older houses that were built in the 60s or 70s. The original look of those houses would have super colorful bathrooms in general, especially the tub. Like, it would be pink, yellow like here, blue, like turquoise blue. It would differ from house to house, but they would be super colorful. So I guess that's what it was trying to give. But yeah, like I was saying, I just wish there would be more swatches that had white tubs and the shower curtain itself changed, but it's fine, I guess. That's the main reason why I don't use those tubs more often. We are now in grandma's room, and I tried to make grandma's room obvious it was for a grandma. I guess that's kind of the vibe of the whole apartment though. So we're using a blue bed from Dream Home Decorator with a little throw blanket at the end of it. I think it's super cute. And that rug is from I can't remember, but it's from one of the recent kits. I think it's the Tea Time Solarium kit. I never use this rug, even though I think it's super cute. I thought this specific swatch, it's so different in color, but it has accents of blue in there that I thought it fit perfectly in this room. And it definitely looks like something grandma would have, since it has like a lot of floral and stuff. I just thought it was such a cute addition to the room. Then I added a rocking chair from Growing Together with a little knitting basket next to it. This grandma just seems like she would love knitting, and she loves to knit her granddaughters a bunch of stuff. Oh, and those pictures I added just now in grandma's room, how cute are those? Those are actually free on the marketplace, and I was so happy when I seen those. I absolutely love floral pictures like that. I think it is so cute to add in rooms. The only thing is all of the frames are the exact same color, but to my luck, they are my favorite shade of wood, especially in The Sims. They're light wood, so I can see myself using them all the time. It would have been even more perfect if it had a white frame, but I guess light wood is better than nothing. I always do light wood flooring, so it should match in most of my builds. But there were actually two pictures. One was the floral one like I used here, but you might have seen I did start with adding the other one in between the two florals until I decided on a different design. But the other one is like, I don't even know, I guess it's just a painted picture. Abstract maybe, I'm not really sure what you would describe that as, but that one is really cute too. And you cannot beat free stuff. But we are now starting on both of the girls' rooms. I'm kind of doing them both at the same time because I want them to be relatively similar, but with the different aesthetics like I was talking about earlier in the build. They do end up having slight differences though, so I am using the same exact bed from high school years, and this one in the pink swatch and the other one in like a black / purple plaid looking swatch. Not really plaid. I don't know what you call that design, but you guys seen it. And then I am putting fairy lights in both of their rooms, but the other one has like a pink flower fairy light, and this one has the regular white fairy lights. I would have chosen black, but they didn't have a black swatch. I do end up changing the layout of this room here in just a moment because I couldn't fit a mental table in there, and I had to put some sort of skill building item for the child in the room, or else it just did not feel complete for me. And I really wanted one of them to have the mental table and then the other one to have the creativity table. And obviously they both need to raise both of the skills. If you're like me in your gameplay and you like to have the kids raise all of the skills to max level, they can just share each other's stuff in both of their rooms, you know? Oh, one thing that I put in every single bedroom that I forgot to mention were these closets that go inside of the wall. That's the best way to describe it for me, but these are so popular in apartments for sure, but in houses in general nowadays always have these built-in closets, and I absolutely love to add them in my builds if I remember. A lot of the time I forget about them, but here lately I tend to remember them, so that's super nice. I just think they add such a good realistic touch. But we have actually reached the end of our build for today. These apartment builds tend to go by so quick for me because they're literally just furnishing, so the videos are super short. But I had so much fun decorating this apartment and going over it with you guys, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Of course, if you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you have not already, and share this video with your friends if they are Simmers as well, and if you think that they would enjoy it. Feel free to leave me a comment down below of what your favorite part of today's build was. I would absolutely love to know. This is available to download on my gallery if you're interested, which my gallery ID is The Clumsy Simmer. It's also linked down below if you still cannot find it. I hope you all have an amazing day or night. Stay tuned for the screenshots, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye guys!